just like to also add that I said this in previous meetings. We all have varying ideas about all the topics that are being discussed with regard to removal of monuments or street names and all of those things. And I'm a proponent and have been all the way back to the original removal of those 4 monuments of context rather. And one of the monuments that was removed that I thought might have been a better teaching tool had it been left up was Beauregard. And simply for this reason, because after the Civil War happened, Beauregard tried to lead a movement to more speedily integrate society. Because he felt that if we didn't try to integrate the Negro into society quicker, then it would be to the detriment of all society. That movement failed, of course, but every day, we hope that people learn something, see something, that makes their minds or hearts change about things that are obviously not right to some, but not necessarily to others based on the environment they grew up in or the perspective that they have always seen or been given, right? And in that particular instance, I felt that Beauregard, in spite of his role in the Civil War, recognized reality, right? And upon recognizing that reality, tried to lead a movement that would have us living more peacefully and better together quicker. I'm sure there are a bunch of people who are listening to this who are mad at me for saying that, right? But it's facts, right? You can't debate facts. The facts are the man led the movement for that reason, right? So for me, adding an installation close to the statue that talked about his progression of thought in that way was probably an opportunity lost for context and education for something we're asking people to do today. So, as we move forward with this process, I think that, there are other instances where that matters, right? In my mind, without Edmund Pettus, you don't have the context for Congressman John Lewis, right? So, having those two things juxtaposing each other tell the full story and help us get to where we understand that someone who couldn't cross a bridge without being beaten in the 60s wound up being a congressman in the United States in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, right? I mean, those progression of history and the betterment of things have to be looked at, and you have to have something to compare those things to. So in some instances, there is no redeeming value to some folks who had names placed up on streets or monuments for them. And it's hard for anybody to really try to come up with it, right? And that's for, debate and policy discussions, right? And we welcome it, we hear it. I know it's hard to hear often, as Commissioner Westmoreland, basically said, but we have a right to say it, and also we need to hear it so that we can have honest, full-blown discussions about it all. At the end of the day, I still say that it is my sincere hope that this process, aside from, its patriotic goals of removing Confederate names from our landscape, leads us to a place where we have substantive conversations, both organized and informal, that help us learn to live better together moving forward. That would be a success story from all of this in my mind. So I think I missed Commissioner Raymond. Did you have something you wanted to add?